I wouldn't poke the bear if I were you. Better not get caught malingering. Beware of claim sharks. And of course you can't understand your combined rating. It's VA math. In this video, I'm going to break down 34 critical VA terms that can make the difference between your claim getting traction or being tossed. I'm going to help you learn the language, decode the system for the rest of us, and hopefully win your claim. It's going to be rapid fire, no fluff, straight talk in plain English. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a medical person, I'm not a legal person. I'm sharing my perspective, experiences, what I've studied and read along my journey. Would you please consider subscribing to my channel? Help me reach as many veterans as possible. Would you also consider liking this video, sharing it with anyone you think could benefit from it, and drop me a comment, let me know where you're watching from. I try to respond to all comments. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to the veterans community watching these videos from all across the United States and all around the world. It's an absolute honor to have you on this channel. Thank you. Well, let's get started. Term number one, poke the bear. What it means is you have a current rating and you're considering to file for an increase of that rating, or you have a new condition and you want to file a new claim. You'll hear in the veteran community, don't poke the bear, or be careful poking the bear. What it means is when you file for that increase or that new claim, the VA could open up your other conditions, open up your entire file, and you could end up without an increase, but actually a decrease in your current rating. So it doesn't mean don't file, it just means make sure your claim and your evidence is up to date and airtight before you do. So number two is VA math, and is this a good one? So for more than one service-connected disability, the VA gives us what's known as a combined rating. And the way that they calculate those multiple ratings is using a custom math that we refer to as VA math. So the VA doesn't just add your ratings together. They start with your highest rating, they subtract that from 100%, and then they apply your next rating to what's left. And then they keep going down the line. Then at the end, they round it up or down. So let me give you a simple example to cover this. So let's say you're rated 70% for PTSD, okay? So the VA takes it and they take 100% minus 70 and you're left with 30%. What they're basically saying is 30% of you is still whole or still healthy or not disabled, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's say you then get rated 50% for sleep apnea. Okay, they're not going to take the 70 PTSD plus the 50 for sleep apnea and give you a combined rating of 120. What they're going to do is they're going to take that 30% that's left whole or healthy or not disabled, remember 100 minus 70, then they're going to basically apply the 50% to the 30% that's left over after your first rating. You're going to end up in this case with 15%. So then the VA is going to take 70% PTSD, 15% from your sleep apnea using their math, and you end up with 85%. After that, they round up or down. So if you make it to the 5 or 6 or 7, you go up. If you don't get past 4, you go back down. So in this case, 85 rounds up to 90. So 70% for PTSD plus 50% for sleep apnea is not 120, it's 90. And that's how they get it with VA math. Number three is high value claim. This basically just means a condition that typically gets rated higher than average. 30%, 50%, 70%, things like this. So in the VA disability world, some claims are worth more than others. Okay, sleep apnea often gets 50%. Mental health averages 70% is what I saw. Radiculopathy can hit 40%. Compare that to like hearing loss and tinnitus, which maxes out at 10%. In the case of myself helping my dad, I was helping him say, focus on the high value claims. Don't get so sidetracked or worried about the hearing loss. Focus on the back pain. Focus on the mental health. Those are high value claims. Number four is claim shark. It's a non-accredited person or company charging, hear this, illegal or excessive fees to help with your claim. They often ask for a percentage of your back pay or an upfront fee. It is illegal unless accredited by the VA. The rule is if they promise guaranteed results, run. Legitimate reps, VSOs, accredited attorneys, accredited agents don't charge for initial claims. Fees are only allowed for appeals and must be approved by the VA. Number 5 is malingering. This is when an examiner suspects you're exaggerating or faking symptoms. It's a huge red flag in your file. It can cause you to bomb out on a C&P exam, and it could actually cause your entire claim to be dismissed. They can write malingering in your notes, and that word for us is radioactive. It can absolutely sink your claim. So be specific, be consistent. Don't downplay your conditions, but also don't exaggerate or dramatize them either. The VA and the examiners are looking for credibility. Number 6 is the CPAP Trap. So this is filing for sleep apnea without currently using or being prescribed a CPAP. It's a common reason for denial. Let's say the vet files for the sleep apnea and maybe they don't have a diagnosis or they just have a diagnosis, but they're not using a CPAP, they're not prescribed a CPAP. This is one of those things that basically is almost going to automatically be denied. Number 7 is anchor. So this is a low-rated but easily service-connected condition like tinnitus used to establish a foundation for secondaries. Now, in this case, I want to make sure I'm not at all saying to use fraudulent claims. This is just if you have other conditions legitimately. Once it's service-connected, you can then file secondaries like insomnia, anxiety, migraines. Number 8 is the 55-year rule. So veterans over 55 are generally protected from future re-exams unless there's clear evidence of improvement or, of course, fraud. The 55-year rule originates from the VA Internal Policy Manual called the M21-1. What it says in there is re-examination should generally not be scheduled when the veteran is over 55 years of age, except under unusual circumstances or when required by regulation. Okay, so let's say you're 56 and you're rated 50% for sleep apnea. The VA usually will not schedule a routine future exam. So this is not a guarantee, but it is a strong shield. Number 9 is C-file. So this is your complete claims file. You see where they get the term C, it's from short for claims. So this is your entire VA record of your claim. Okay, so it includes medical files, decisions, examiner notes, personal statements in support of a claim, everything that's in your claims file. You can request it through a Freedom of Information Act. I know it takes a while to get it. Also, you can try your regional office. You can also see parts of it if your VSO is willing to share it. Always want to request and review this before an appeal. It helps you catch missing or inaccurate information. And a lot of times you can see exactly what the examiners did or didn't do, what they said or didn't say in your examiner notes. Number 10 is means test. Okay, you may hear that in some of the YouTube channels or also on the news. This is a proposed policy that keeps popping up in Congress. And basically it's to reduce or deny benefits to veterans who earn, that's where you get the term means, above a certain income amount. So basically they want to scale back your disability payments based on gross household income, not just from the veteran, but from the entire household. One I've heard is, let's say your gross family income, which means before taxes, is $136,000 a year. Well, basically what they want to do is start right there and then start reducing your compensation the more that you make. And by the time you get to say $150,000 a year or $165,000 a year, it would just literally wash out any disability compensation. So this is not a law yet, but it keeps floating around Congress. So when you hear the terms means test, that's exactly what they're talking about. Veterans argue that disability compensation is earned through service and sacrifice, not based on gross household income. And means testing breaks the promise made to those who serve. I absolutely agree with that. Number 11 is the term pyramiding. So the VA won't pay you twice for the same symptom. Okay, so if two conditions cause the same pain or limitation, they only get one rating. So this is 38 CFR 4.14, which says this: the evaluation of the same disability under various diagnoses is to be avoided. Let me give you a couple of examples of that. Example is, say you have low back strain and sciatica that both cause the same back pain. They're going to get one rating, okay? Let's say you have low back strain that causes limited motion, but sciatica is causing numbness or tingling down your leg. You can, in that case, get 2 ratings rated for both of those. So the bottom line on pyramiding is same pain, 1 rating. Different symptoms, different ratings. I hope that helps. Number 12 is intent to file. This is a placeholder that locks in your effective back pay date. So it locks in your effective date a lot of times while you're still gathering evidence. So it's built into Va.Gov. You don't need to upload a separate form. You basically just start a new disability claim online on Va.gov, click Save, fill out one blank and click Save, and you've got your intent to file date locked in. It gives you 1 year to finish and submit your full claim, and your back pay will go back to the date you first started it, that intent to file date. So start a claim, hit Save. That's your intent to file. Number 13 is Nexus Letter. We hear that a lot on videos, and do I need a Nexus Letter? Should I have a Nexus Letter? This is a medical opinion linking your current condition to your time in service. It needs to say at least as likely as not. It builds the bridge between your condition and your time in service. It's often written by a private doctor or a specialist. When do you use this? It's when the VA can't see the link, or it may be difficult to make that link. It's good to have a Nexus Letter that bridges the gap. Number 14, independent medical opinion, or IMO. So this is actually different than a Nexus Letter. Okay, this is a detailed rebuttal to the VA's findings, often used in appeals. So it's a second opinion from a private doctor. It's used to challenge a bad C&P exam. It reviews your whole medical file and gives an expert rebuttal. Strong independent medical opinions can flip denials on appeal. So a little bit of difference between Nexus and IMO. The Nexus Letter says, yes, this condition is linked to service. The independent medical opinion says the VA examiner got it wrong, or the rater got it wrong, and here's the medical proof why, point by point. Number 15, DBQ, or Disability Benefits Questionnaire. This is a standardized VA form available publicly, used by medical providers to document a veteran's diagnosis, symptoms, severity, and functional limitations for a specific condition. It's designed to collect the exact medical information VA raters need to decide your claim. Also, it's completed by the examiner during your C&P exam, or you could also have a private doctor or specialist complete it outside of the VA, and you could upload it to your claims file. Number 16, personal statement in support of a claim, VA Form 21-4138. This is your own written account describing how your condition started, how it got worse, and the impacts on your daily life. I recommend to anyone that I talk to, do one for every condition claimed. And what you want to put on there is just simple. It doesn't have to be long. 1 or 2 sentences on how you were before your time in service, then a few sentences on what happened in service. Describe the injury, describe the illness, describe the event that caused your current condition. And then you want to have a couple of sentences after that that would be how you've been after service, the symptoms, the impacts, the limitations, what you can no longer do because of what happened to you in service. Number 17 is presumptive condition. So whenever you hear this term, it basically means a medical condition the VA automatically assumes is service connected because of where and when you served, or something you've been exposed to. So for example, if you served in the Persian Gulf and you currently have chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia, the VA presumes or assumes that it's service connected. So if it's presumptive, the burden is off you for the link. The the VA already agrees it's service connected. Number 18 is buddy letter. This is a statement from someone who served with you confirming what they saw, what they heard, and what they experienced, like an injury, event, or ongoing symptoms. It's filed using VA Form 21-10210. Why does it matter? When your service records are missing or incomplete, a buddy letter can help fill the gap and back up your story. It's firsthand proof from someone else that was there. So when the record's silent, your buddy can speak for you. Number 19 is 100% P&T, permanent and total. I know I say that really fast, so it sounds like I'm saying P&T, but it's actually P&T. Okay, permanent and total. You're rated 100% disabled for VA purposes, and your conditions are permanent. They're not expected to improve. And as some of the veterans said very rightly in the comments this past week, also they're expected to worsen. So why does it matter? It matters because your rating is then protected. There's no future exams or reductions unless there's a mistake or clear fraud. It also unlocks top tier benefits like Champ VA for your dependents, Chapter 35 for your dependents, state property tax exemptions in a lot of places, and also commissary and exchange privileges. So 100% P&T means permanent, protected, and packed with a lot of benefits. That's why you see a lot of videos on YouTube about it, and that's why you hear about it probably more than any other rating in the VA disability world. Number 20 is supplemental claim. This is a second chance with new evidence. It's used to reopen a denied claim or a lowball rating when you have new and relevant information the VA didn't review before. Just keep in mind with supplemental claim, it's only valid if the evidence is new. That means it wasn't previously submitted, and relevant. That means it could change the outcome. It's got to be both. Also, you get fresh eyes on it where a new reviewer, a new rater, can evaluate your new evidence and re-rate your claim. Number 21 is VSO, Veteran Service Officer. This is your free claim ally. They are accredited representatives from groups like DAV, VFW, American Legion, and they help prepare and submit VA claims at no cost. Why does it matter? They're excellent resources because they're trained and experienced. They're not VA employees. A strong VSO can track your claim, advise you on it, gather your records, and guide your appeals. Just one thing to remember is the VSO can guide the process, but you have to take ownership and drive the outcome. One thing I like to say about the VSOs is I have come to respect them more and more as I go along on this channel. They are excellent allies to veterans. They're free. There's nothing in it for them. They're basically there to help the veteran. And I understand sometimes there may be more knowledgeable VSOs than others, but my absolute number one recommendation is if you need help with your claim file, find yourself a good VSO. Kind of on that same note, number 22 is the term accredited agent. You'll hear this a lot. An accredited agent is officially trained and certified to handle VA claims and appeals. They know the rules, they know the forms, they know the deadlines inside and out. They're licensed by the VA to help veterans. They work kind of as a professional guide. They can also build your evidence, challenge bad decisions, and talk directly to VA raters in some instances on your behalf. They're paid only after you win. Agents can charge a small percentage of your back pay, usually 20 to 30% from what I've researched, and the VA sets strict limits on what they can collect. Also, they can't do it on initial claims, as was mentioned earlier. Number 23 is 38 CFR. This is the VA's official rule book. It's where every law, rating, schedule, and procedure for veterans benefits is written. It is the Code of Federal Regulations. So why does it matter? It tells the raters how to score conditions, combine percentages, and apply protections. Everything about your claim, from service connection to the VA rating math, comes from the 38 CFR. Number 24 is the M21-1. This is the VA's internal guide, the internal playbook, the step-by-step guide that raters use to apply the laws within the 38 CFR. It explains how they interpret evidence, when they schedule exams, and what to do, especially in complex cases. It's not law, but it shapes nearly every VA decision made on your claim. So think of it like this. The 38 CFR is the rule book. M21-1 is how the VA plays the game. Number 25 is the term service connection or service connected. When the VA says you are service connected for this or that, it means they have officially linked your condition currently to your military service. Okay, that condition is now part of your VA disability record and qualifies you potentially for monthly compensation and health care coverage, depending on the rating level. Number 26 is VSR, or Veterans Service Representative. This person is a VA employee. They build your claim file. They gather the forms, the evidence, and the service records that you've submitted, put it all together, and they prepare it for rating. They make sure all the required information is there, and then they, when it's ready, hand it off to the rater. Number 27 is RVSR. That's Rating Veterans Service Representative. This is the VA employee that actually decides your rating. They review all the evidence and then apply the VA rating schedule from the 38 CFR Part 4 that we just covered. They write the decision, they explain what was granted, what was denied, what was deferred, and why. And then they set your percentage. They determine the official VA disability rating and the effective date. Number 28 is exam. You'll hear that term a lot. And that's veteran shorthand for being sent to a compensation and pension or C&P exam. That's the VA's evaluation exam to determine severity and potential service connection. Just remember, it's not treatment, it's a snapshot. Be clear, consistent, and honest. Don't minimize, but don't exaggerate. Prepare like it's a job interview. Your benefits depend on it. Number 29 is Contractor. This is a private third-party company the VA hires to run the C&P or the compensation and pension exams. They're basically the person that is going to conduct the exam in most cases. Their reports, though, go straight into your claims file, your C file, and they heavily influence your rating. Number 30 is Va.Gov, or you may hear the term Go Online. This is the VA's official online portal where you can file a claim, upload evidence, track your updates, and check your claim status. When someone says go online, that's typically what they mean, Va.gov. Number 31 is the term in service. That just basically means the time you served while you were in uniform. So in-service events are the foundation of service connection with your current condition. Number 32, call the VA. You hear them say, hey, if you have a problem, call the VA. What it means is the disability 800 number, 1-800-827-1000. That's the main line for claim status, appointments, and questions. Use it to check your status, confirm your uploads, and ask questions. They do record the calls and they keep logs. I recommend call often, be patient, document everything. I know for myself personally, I call them at least a couple of times a week, if not more. Number 33 is Service Treatment Record, or STR. That's your in-service medical file. It includes doctor visits, injuries, and treatment notes from active duty. You may call it sick bay or sick call or whatever. It's proof, in-service proof of what happened. It shows when and how a condition began or was treated while you were in service. It's a very big key to service connection. The VA looks here first to confirm if your condition started while you were in service. For a lot of us older vets like myself, we were discouraged from going to sick call, and so we didn't go. So we don't have the medical records. That's why we have to use a lot of other means to communicate what actually happened to us in service. And number 34, VBMS, Veterans Benefits Management System. This is the VA's internal software application, a secure digital platform the VA uses to create, store, and process veterans' claims electronically. Would you please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video.